Good morning. So, how'd you get on with the assignment? Agatha, let's start with you.
I enjoyed it. I found a podcast on the science of first impressions.
That sounds interesting.
Yes, it's an interview with Alexander Todorov, a psychology professor from Princeton University. He's written a book about first impressions called Face Value. I haven't read the book, though. The interview podcast was about 30 minutes long, and I've written about 1 page as a summary.
Good job. Niall, how about you? What did you summarize?
Well, I read a really interesting psychology study on soccer fans.
Uh-huh. I know you really like soccer, but...
It's okay. It's about how soccer fans form an impression depending on what clothes people are wearing. For example, will they form a negative impression of someone just because they're wearing a soccer shirt from a different team?
I see. Okay, let's hear your summary first, Niall.
Certainly. In 2005, an English psychologist called Mark Levine conducted a study using fans of the soccer team Manchester United. Before a real match, some fans agreed to complete a questionnaire about their feelings as Manchester United fans. The questionnaire was designed to make the fans feel really proud of their team. Then, each fan was asked to go to another building and watch a short film. However, on the way to the second building, an actor jogged by. He pretended to fall over and hurt himself. Will the soccer fan help him? Will the Manchester United fan help the jogger if he's wearing a Manchester United shirt? Or a Liverpool shirt? Or just a plain shirt?
I think I know the answer. Please go on.
92% helped the Manchester United fan, but only 30% helped the Liverpool fan or the guy wearing a plain shirt. Now, for me, the most interesting thing is the second part of the study. Levine repeated the whole process, but this time, the fans completed the questionnaire about their feelings as a soccer fan. The questionnaire was designed to make the fans feel really proud of their whole sport, their love of the game. Now the numbers were different. 80% helped the injured jogger if he was wearing a Manchester United shirt. 70% helped the Liverpool fan. But only 20% helped the person who was wearing a plain shirt.
Huh.
That's even less than before. In conclusion, our first impressions can be controlled, and they have a powerful influence on our behavior.
Thank you, Niall. What an interesting piece of research. Agatha, please can we hear your summary now?
Thank you. We form first impressions very quickly. In the podcast, Professor Todorov says it takes far less than a second, and it doesn't matter if we have longer, 1 second, 3 seconds, our first impression stays the same. Todorov studies faces. So, what faces do we trust? What faces do we see as agreeable or extroverted? With picture software, Todorov can create hundreds of versions of the same face for people to look at. So, his team can create the same face, but looking tired, or with a beard, or looking down, or smiling. It was quite difficult to understand some of the interview because, of course, the podcast was just words. Apparently, there are lots of pictures in his book, though. I was particularly interested in Todorov's thoughts about faces and human history. For most of our history, people have lived in small groups. We therefore understood the faces of our families, and that was all. Todorov's studies show that we're still very good at reading emotions on faces, but now, when many of us live in cities and see so many faces, our brains are looking for a shortcut. We want to know about a person's personality from their face. Even though that is never going to work, we do it all the time.
Thank you, Agatha. Perhaps you can send the podcast link to the rest of the class?
Of course.